The war that followed lasted only 3 months, but it changed everything. The Council had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years, but they had never faced an enemy like humanity. What started as Earth's defense became a campaign of conquest. That spread across the stars. Admiral Lisa Hayes stood on the bridge of the new flagship, the Earth's Revenge. The ship was built using captured Council technology, but improved by human engineering. It was faster, stronger, and more deadly than anything the aliens had ever created. "Jump coordinates locked in," reported Captain Tony Hughes. "Target, the Corellian home system." The Corellians were the Council's primary military force. They had been the ones who demanded Earth's surrender, who planned the invasion, who thought humans were too weak to fight back. Now they were about to learn what human vengeance looked like. "Begin jump sequence," Hayes ordered. The human fleet vanished from Earth's orbit and reappeared deep in enemy territory. The Corellians had never imagined that humans could travel faster than light. But Dr. Elena Rodriguez had perfected the technology stolen from the captured Council ship. General Rick Barnes led the ground assault on the Corellian capital world. His enhanced soldiers moved through the alien city like ghosts, faster and stronger than anything the defenders had ever faced. "Enemy forces are retreating," he reported. "The Corellians can't match our enhanced troops." The proud warrior race that had dominated galactic politics for centuries was being defeated by human soldiers who had been improved with their own technology. The irony was not lost on anyone. President Nathan Brooks had moved his headquarters to a captured Council station. From there, he coordinated the human war effort across dozens of star systems. The aliens who had once dismissed humanity as primitive now faced an enemy that was everywhere at once. "Report from the outer colonies," said Colonel Danny Walsh. "All Council outposts have been captured or destroyed. The rebellion is succeeding, beyond our best projections." The human colonists had been waiting for this moment for years. When the signal came, they rose up against their alien masters with weapons that had been hidden and soldiers that had been secretly trained. The Council's control over the galaxy was collapsing. Dr. Amy Carter was leading a team of scientists who were studying captured alien technology. Every Council ship that was destroyed, every alien base that was captured, gave humanity new weapons and new knowledge. "We've cracked their communication codes," she reported. "We can now intercept all Council military transmissions." The advantage was overwhelming. Humans could read alien messages, predict their movements, and strike before the Council forces knew they were under attack. The aliens who had once seemed invincible were now helpless against human intelligence. Captain Steve Bennett was commanding a fleet of human ships that had been built in secret underwater facilities. His forces were striking at Council trade routes, destroying the economic system that had supported alien civilization for millennia. "Enemy commerce fleet destroyed," he reported. "Their supply lines are completely cut." The Council had never faced economic warfare before. They had always been the dominant power, taking what they wanted from weaker species. Now they were learning what it felt like to be the victims. Lieutenant Commander Beth Turner led her enhanced pilots in raids deep into Council territory. Her fighters could outrun anything the aliens had, and her weapons could destroy their strongest ships. "Council defense fleet is retreating," she reported. "They can't match our speed or firepower." The enhanced humans were proving superior to every alien species. The genetic improvements that had been developed from captured Council technology made human soldiers faster, stronger, and smarter than any enemy they faced. The war reached its climax when the human fleet arrived at the Council's home world. The planet had been the center of galactic civilization for thousands of years, protected by defenses that had never been breached. "All ships, this is Admiral Hayes," she announced. "Today we finish what they started. Today we show the galaxy that humanity will not be enslaved." The battle for the Council world was brutal but brief. The aliens' most advanced weapons were no match for human technology that had been improved and perfected. Their strongest shields were broken by weapons, powered by solar energy. Vex Thara, the Council commander who had delivered humanity's ultimatum, was brought before President Brooks as a prisoner. The proud alien who had once demanded Earth's surrender now knelt before the human leader. "You pushed us too far," Nathan said simply. "You believed we were weak because we chose peace over war. You thought we were primitive because we didn't. Conquer other worlds. You were wrong about everything." The old council was dissolved, its members scattered or captured. The alien species that had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years were now subjects of the human empire. The tables had completely turned. Captain Kelly Price was appointed as the new military governor of the former council territories. Her first act was to free all the species that had been enslaved by the aliens. The galaxy would be rebuilt according to human values. "Freedom for all species," she announced. "No more slavery, no more oppression. The age of human rule begins now." Dr. Elena Rodriguez was given unlimited resources to continue her research. The technology she had developed from the captured alien ship was just the beginning. Humanity would continue to advance, to grow stronger, to become the dominant force in the galaxy. "We've learned everything we can from Council technology," she reported. "Now we'll develop our own innovations. The next generation of human weapons will be beyond anything the aliens ever imagined." The war was over, but the transformation of the galaxy was just beginning. Species that had been oppressed for thousands of years were now free. Trade routes that had been controlled by alien corporations were now open to everyone. The old order was gone forever. Colonel Danny Walsh was coordinating the occupation of former council worlds. Everywhere humans went, they brought new ideas, new technologies, new ways of organizing society. The galaxy was changing rapidly. "All former council territories are under human control," he reported. "The transition to the new government is proceeding smoothly." The aliens who had once ruled the galaxy were learning to live under human authority. Most of them accepted the change willingly, grateful to be free from the council's tyranny. Those who resisted were quickly defeated. President Brooks addressed the galaxy from the former council headquarters. "The age of alien domination is over. From now on, all species will be treated equally. There will be no more slavery, no more oppression, no more war." The message was broadcast to every world in the galaxy. Humanity had not just won a war. They had created a new civilization based on freedom and equality. The Council's legacy of oppression was being replaced by human ideals. The galaxy would never be the same. The species that had been dismissed as primitive had become the most powerful force in the universe. The Council had pushed Earth too far, and the retaliation had been exactly what they deserved. In the end, the aliens learned a lesson that would be remembered forever. Never underestimate a species that has spent its entire history learning to survive against impossible odds. Humanity had been pushed too far, and their response had been beyond imagination. The Council's invasion fleet was falling apart. What had started as a simple show of force had become a desperate fight for survival. Vex Thara watched his ships being destroyed one by one, and he couldn't understand how everything had gone so wrong. "All ships, fall back to minimum safe distance," he ordered. "Regroup and prepare for defensive formation." But there was nowhere to run. Captain Tony Hughes had positioned his fleet between the aliens and the edge of the solar system. Every escape route was blocked by human ships that moved faster and hit harder than anything the Council had ever fought. "Enemy fleet attempting to retreat," Tony reported to Admiral Hayes. "Should we let them go?" "Negative," Hayes replied. "We can't let them report back to the Council. This ends here. The real battle was just beginning. For 3 years, humans had been preparing for this moment. Every ship, every weapon, every soldier had been designed with one purpose: to defeat the Council so completely that they would never threaten. Earth again. Dr. Elena Rodriguez activated the final phase of her plan. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, machines that had been built in secret for 2 years came online. The Council thought they understood human technology, but they had never seen anything like this. Solar Collection Array is active, Elena announced, channeling star energy to all fleet weapons. The human ships suddenly blazed with new power. Their weapons, already superior to anything the Council had, became even more deadly. Elena had found a way to channel energy directly from the sun, giving human forces unlimited power for their weapons. Lieutenant Commander Beth Turner led her enhanced pilots in a direct assault on the alien flagship. The Council ship was massive, protected by shields that could stop a nuclear bomb. But Beth's weapons were powered by solar energy, and they cut through the alien defenses like paper. "Flagship shields are down," she reported. "Moving in for the kill." Vexthara felt his ship shake as human weapons tore through the hull. His bridge crew was panicking, trying to understand how their superior technology was being defeated by a primitive species. "Sir, we're losing life support," his engineer reported. "The humans are using some kind of fusion weapon we've never seen before." The truth was that humans had taken Council technology and made it better. Every weakness in alien design had been found and exploited. Every strength had been copied and improved. The species that the Council had dismissed as primitive had become their most dangerous enemy. Captain Steve Bennett coordinated the attack from his submarine command center. His underwater fleet was striking at alien ships from below, a direction the Council had never expected an attack to come from. "Enemy support vessels are breaking formation," he reported. "They're trying to escape through the asteroid belt." But the asteroid belt was where Captain Kelly Price had hidden her main battle fleet. The Council ships flew directly into a trap surrounded by human vessels that had been waiting for exactly this moment. "All ships open fire," Kelly ordered. "Don't let a single alien ship escape." The space battle was turning into a massacre. The Council fleet, which had seemed so powerful just hours before, was being destroyed by human forces that had been hidden. Throughout the solar system, every alien ship that tried to escape ran into another group of human vessels. General Rick Barnes was coordinating the ground battle on Earth's surface. The Council had managed to land some troops before their transport. Ships were destroyed, but those troops were facing human soldiers who had been enhanced with alien technology. "Enemy ground forces are surrounded," Rick reported. "They're requesting permission to surrender." The Council troops had expected to fight primitive humans with basic weapons. Instead, they faced soldiers who could see in the dark, move faster than any alien, and survive injuries that would kill a normal person. President Nathan Brooks was watching the battle from his underground command center. The plan he had helped create was working perfectly. The Council fleet was being destroyed, their ground forces were defeated, and their communications were still blocked. "How long until the jamming field fails?" he asked Dr. Amy Carter. "We can maintain it for another 6 hours," she replied. "That should be enough time to finish the job." The Council forces were trapped in the solar system with no way to call for help. Their ships were being destroyed faster than they could defend themselves, and their troops on the ground were being captured or killed. Colonel Danny Walsh was coordinating with resistance cells throughout the galaxy. The moment the Council fleet was destroyed, human colonists would begin their rebellion. Every alien outpost, every Council base, every symbol of alien authority would be attacked at once. "All cells report ready," Danny said. "The moment we give the signal, the entire galaxy will know that Earth is fighting back." The plan was brilliant in its simplicity. The Council had spread their forces thin, believing that humans were too weak to resist. But when the rebellion began, they would face coordinated attacks across 50 star systems. Captain Tony Hughes was leading the final assault on the alien flagship. Vexthara's ship was badly damaged, its shields down, its weapons failing. The proud Council commander, who had delivered humanity's ultimatum, was now fighting for his life. "This is your last chance," Tony broadcast to the alien ship. "Surrender now, and we'll let you live." Vexthara stared at the human ship through his cracked viewscreen. Everything he had believed about humanity was wrong. They weren't primitive. They weren't weak. They were the most dangerous species he had ever encountered. "We surrender," he said quietly. The words were transmitted across the battlefield. The Council fleet, what was left of it, began powering down their weapons. The invasion was over, but the war was just beginning. Admiral Hayes addressed the surviving alien ships. "You came here to destroy us. Instead, you've given us everything we need to destroy you. Your technology, your tactics, your weaknesses. We know them all now." The Council forces that had come to conquer Earth were now prisoners. Their ships were captured, their weapons studied, their soldiers interrogated. Everything they knew about Council military capabilities was now in human hands, but the real surprise was still to come. Dr. Elena Rodriguez had one more secret weapon, something she had been preparing for years. The Council thought the battle was over, but they were about to learn that humanity's retaliation was just beginning. "Phase 4 is ready," Elena announced. "Shall we show them what we've really been building?" Nathan Brooks nodded. "Do it. Let them see what happens when they push humanity too far." The Council had started this war expecting an easy victory. Instead, they had awakened something in humanity that would change the galaxy forever. The retaliation was about to begin, and it would be beyond anything the aliens could imagine. The attack began exactly at dawn. Commander Jake Morrison watched from his space station as the Council fleet opened fire on Earth's orbital defenses. Bright beams of energy shot across space, striking the platforms that protected humanity's home world. The first target was Defense Station Alpha, the largest military installation in Earth's orbit. The alien weapons hit it with enough force to destroy a small moon. The station exploded in a ball of fire and metal, just as the Council expected. "Direct hit on Alpha Station," reported Vexthara to his fleet commanders. "Human defenses are falling as predicted, but something was wrong. The explosion was too small, too clean. It looked like a real military base being destroyed, but the debris pattern was all wrong." Captain Ryan Foster, watching from his hidden command center, smiled grimly. "Phase 1 complete," he announced. "All decoy installations successfully destroyed." The Council had destroyed exactly what they were supposed to destroy. Every target they hit was empty, built to look important, but containing nothing vital. The real Defense Station Alpha was hidden behind Jupiter's largest moon, completely invisible to alien sensors. Admiral Lisa Hayes activated the next phase of the plan. "Bring the real defenses online. Show them what we've really built." Around Earth, the planet's true defensive systems came to life. Weapon platforms that had been disguised as communications satellites suddenly revealed their true purpose. Hidden bases on the moon opened their doors, launching fighters that moved faster than anything the Council had ever seen. The alien fleet commander couldn't believe his sensors. "Impossible," Vexthara said. "Our intelligence reports showed only basic human technology. These weapons are matching our own." Commander Kelly Price led the first wave of Earth's real defense fleet. Her ships had been waiting in the asteroid belt, powered down and hidden among the space rocks. Now they activated their engines and charged toward the alien fleet. "All ships, this is Kelly Price. We've been waiting 3 years for this moment. Time to show these aliens what humans can do. The Council ships tried to adapt to the new threat, but they were confused and disorganized. Their battle plans had been based on fighting primitive human technology. Instead, they faced weapons that were equal to their own, operated by pilots who had been studying alien tactics for years. Captain Steve Bennett brought his submarine fleet to the surface of Earth's oceans. The Council had never paid attention to the planet's water, assuming it was empty. They were shocked when hundreds of ships rose from the depths, each one armed with weapons that could punch through alien shields. Surface fleet is active, Steve reported, beginning attack on the Council's support vessels. The alien commander tried to contact his home fleet, but the communications were being blocked. Dr. Elena Rodriguez had activated a jamming field that covered the entire solar system. The Council forces were cut off from outside help. What is happening? Vexthara demanded from his bridge. How do the humans have this technology? His science officer, a thin creature with 6 arms, studied the readings. Sir, these weapons are based on our own designs, but they've been improved. The humans have somehow made them more efficient. The truth was worse than the alien officer realized. Humans hadn't just copied Council technology. They had made it better. Dr. Amy Carter's research teams had spent 2 years studying the captured alien ship, learning how their systems worked. Then finding ways to improve them. Lieutenant Commander Beth Turner was leading a squadron of enhanced human pilots. The Council had given their soldiers basic genetic improvements, but humans had gone much further. Beth could think faster, react quicker, and see more clearly than any alien pilot. Enemy formation breaking up, she reported. They can't keep up with our speed. The enhanced humans were devastating the alien fleet. Ships that had seemed invincible were being destroyed by pilots who moved like they could see the future. The Council had never faced an enemy that could match their reflexes and exceed their tactics. General Rick Barnes was coordinating the ground defense. The Council had planned to land troops on Earth's surface, but those troops were being met by human soldiers who had been enhanced with alien technology. The results were shocking. Enemy ground forces are retreating, Rick reported. Our enhanced soldiers are proving superior in every engagement. The Council troops had expected to fight primitive humans with basic weapons. Instead, they faced soldiers who could lift a car, run faster than a horse, and see in complete darkness. The alien invasion force was being destroyed by the very people they had planned to enslave. Captain Tony Hughes was leading the attack on the Council's main battle fleet. His ships were using weapons that the aliens had never seen before. Instead of basic plasma beams, humans had developed fusion cannons that burned hotter than the surface of a star. Enemy flagship is taking heavy damage, Tony reported. There. Shields can't handle her improved weapons. Vexthara watched his fleet being destroyed with growing horror. Half his ships were gone, and the humans were just getting started. The primitive species that was supposed to surrender without a fight was winning the battle. Send a message to the Council, he ordered. Tell them we need reinforcements immediately. But the message couldn't get through. Elana's jamming field was blocking all communications beyond the solar system. The Council forces were trapped, cut off from help, and facing an enemy that had been preparing for this battle for years. Admiral Hayes opened a communication channel to the alien fleet. Her voice was calm and steady, but her words carried the weight of absolute authority. This is Admiral Lisa Hayes of the Earth Defense Force. You came here to destroy us. Instead, you've walked into a trap that we've been preparing for 3 years. Your fleet is surrounded, your communications are cut, and your ground forces are defeated. On the alien flagship, Vexthara stared at the human admiral with disbelief. This is impossible. Our intelligence reports said humans were primitive. Your intelligence was wrong, Hayes replied. We let you think we were weak. We let you believe we were helpless. We fed you false information for years, and you believed every word. Now you're going to pay the price for underestimating humanity." The battle was turning into a complete rout. The Council fleet, which had seemed so powerful just hours before, was being systematically destroyed by human forces that shouldn't have existed. The aliens who had come to conquer Earth were learning that humans were far more dangerous than Kona. They had ever imagined. The real war was about to begin, and the Council had no idea how badly they had misjudged their enemy. President Nathan Brooks walked through the underground tunnel that connected his bunker to the secret meeting room. The walls were thick concrete, built to survive nuclear war. But this war would be different. This war would be fought with weapons that could crack planets. The room was already full when he arrived. Admiral Lisa Hayes sat at the head of the table, surrounded by the most important people in the human military. They had been planning this moment for years, and now it was time to act. "Report," Nathan said as he took his seat. Colonel Danny Walsh stood up first. "All colonial resistance cells are in position. The Council thinks they control our outer settlements, but we've been preparing them for revolt. When we give the signal, they'll strike at alien supply lines across 50 star systems." Dr. Amy Carter was next. "Project Lazarus facilities are ready. We have 17 major installations that the Council doesn't know about. Each one is producing ships and weapons using technology we've kept hidden." Nathan nodded. The Council had been watching Earth for years, but they had been watching the wrong things. Every military base they knew about was fake. Every ship they had counted was a decoy. The real human fleet was hidden where aliens never thought to look. "What about the crash site?" Nathan asked Dr. Elena Rodriguez. Elena smiled. "The Council still thinks their scout ship was destroyed in a solar storm. They have no idea we pulled it from the Pacific and studied every piece. We've reverse-engineered their shields, their weapons, and their faster-than-light drive. In some ways, we've improved on their designs. The crash had happened 2 years ago. A small Council survey ship had been exploring the outer solar system when it suddenly went dark. The aliens assumed it had been destroyed by space debris. What really happened was that Captain Tony Hughes had used an experimental weapon to disable the ship's systems, then captured it intact." "The crew?" Nathan asked. "Held in a facility on the dark side of the moon," Elena replied. "They're alive and healthy, but they can't communicate with the Council. As far as their people know, they're dead." Captain Ryan Foster opened a thick folder. "We've been feeding the Council false information for 3 years. They think our total fleet is 37 ships. The real number is over 400. They think our weapons are chemical rockets and nuclear warheads. They don't know about the plasma cannons or the fusion bombs." Admiral Hayes brought up a holographic display of the solar system. Red dots showed the positions of Council ships. Blue dots showed where they thought human forces were located. Green dots showed where human forces actually were. "They're surrounding the wrong targets," she said. "Every orbital station they're planning to attack is empty. The real defense platforms are hidden in asteroid fields and behind the moons of Jupiter." President Brooks studied the display. The Council had positioned their fleet to attack Earth's known military installations. They had no idea that those installations were decoys, built to look important while the real bases stayed hidden. "What about ground forces?" he asked General. Rick Barnes answered. "The Council thinks our armies are using primitive weapons. They've seen our public military parades, our training exercises, our equipment displays. What they haven't seen are the soldiers we've been enhancing with alien technology for the past year." The enhancement program had been Amy's idea. Using medical technology stolen from the captured Council ship, human soldiers had been given improved reflexes, stronger muscles, and better senses. They could see in the dark survive in space, and fight for days without rest. The volunteers? Nathan asked. Over 1 million signed up, Rick replied. We could only enhance 50,000, but they're worth 10 times that number in regular soldiers. When the Council lands their troops, they'll be in for a surprise. Captain Steve Bennett had been quiet during most of the meeting. Now he spoke up. My submarines are in position. The Council knows nothing about our underwater cities. We've been building them for years, using materials mined from the ocean floor. When they attack our surface installations, we'll strike from below. The underwater cities were humanity's greatest secret. Using technology adapted from deep-sea mining operations, humans had built military bases in ocean trenches around the world. The Council had never bothered to explore Earth's oceans in detail, assuming they were empty. Timing is everything, Admiral Hayes said. We need to let them think they're winning at first. If we reveal our true strength too early, they might. Call for reinforcements. Nathan agreed. The Council had thousands of ships scattered across the galaxy. If they realized how dangerous humans had become, they might send everything they had to destroy Earth. The key was to defeat the current. Fleet so completely that no one would believe the reports. Dr. Carter activated another display. We've been monitoring Council communications for months. They're so confident about this attack that they've told no one back home about it. They expect to have Earth surrendered within hours. Good, Nathan said. Let them stay confident. The more surprised they are, the more complete their defeat will be. Lieutenant Commander Beth Turner entered the room carrying a sealed briefcase. Sir, the final weapon is ready for deployment. Nathan looked at the briefcase with mixed feelings. Inside was the key to humanity's ultimate secret weapon. It was something so powerful that even his closest advisors didn't know all the details. Are you certain it will work? He asked. Beth nodded. We've tested it 3 times in deep space. The Council's ships have no defense against it. When we activate it, their entire fleet will be helpless. The weapon was Elena's greatest achievement. By studying the Council's technology, she had discovered a fundamental weakness in their ship designs. Every alien vessel used the same type of power core, and she had found a way to shut them all down at once. How long do we have? Nathan asked. Admiral Hayes checked her watch. 22 hours until the Council's deadline. They'll begin their attack at dawn, Earth time. Nathan stood up. Then we all know what we have to do. The Council has ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. They think they're unstoppable. Tomorrow, we show them what happens when they push humanity too far. As the meeting ended, each person left to coordinate their part of the plan. The Council fleet was moving into position, preparing to demonstrate their power. They had no idea that every move they made was being watched, every ship they positioned was being targeted, and every strategy they planned was already known to their enemies. The aliens had spent 3 years studying humanity, and they thought they understood what humans were capable of. They were about to learn that humans were very good at hiding their true strength. The Council had pushed Earth too far, and the retaliation was going to be beyond anything they could imagine. Commander Jake Morrison pressed his face against the cold window of the space station. Far below, Earth looked peaceful and blue, but peace was about to end. Dark shapes were moving in the distance, getting bigger every second. The alien ships had arrived. Jake had been expecting this day for months. The warnings had been coming from all over the galaxy. The Council was angry with Earth. They were tired of humans asking for equal rights. They wanted to end the problem once and for all. Sir, we have incoming transmission, said Lieutenant Mary Davis from her control station. Her voice was steady, but Jake could see her hands shaking slightly. Everyone knew what was coming. Put it through, Jake said. The main screen flickered to life, showing the bridge of a massive alien warship. The creature on the screen was tall and gray, with 4 arms and eyes that glowed red. This was Vexthara, the Council's top military commander. "Humans of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English, though his voice sounded like grinding metal. "I am here to deliver the final word. Of the Galactic Council, your time of independence is over." Down on Earth, Admiral Lisa Hayes sat in her command center deep underground. The room was filled with screens showing alien ships surrounding their planet. There were hundreds of them, maybe thousands. Each one was bigger than anything humans had ever built. "How many?" she asked Captain Ryan Foster, her second in command. "Our sensors show at least 500 warships," Ryan replied, "plus support vessels. They brought everything they had." Lisa nodded slowly. She had been waiting for this moment for 3 years. Ever since Earth joined the Council, she knew it would end badly. The aliens had never treated humans as equals. They saw them as useful pets, good for mining and basic labor. But nothing more. President Nathan Brooks was in the same bunker, watching the same screens. His face was calm, but inside he felt sick. He had tried so hard to make peace work. He had signed treaty after treaty, giving the aliens more and more control over human affairs. But it was never enough. "They want us to surrender everything," he said to Dr. Amy Carter, the head of Earth's Science Division. "Our ships, our weapons, our freedom. They want to turn us into slaves." Amy looked at the president with steady eyes. "Maybe it's time they learned what humans are really capable of." Back on the space station, Vexthara was still talking. "You will have 36 hours to comply with our demands. All human military vessels will be surrendered. All orbital defenses will be dismantled. Earth will submit to permanent Council oversight." Jake felt anger building in his chest. "And if we refuse?" The alien's mouth curved into what might have been a smile. "Then we will demonstrate why the Council has ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. Your cities will burn. Your people will serve us, or they will die." The transmission ended. Jake stared at the blank screen for a long moment. Around him, his crew waited for orders. They all knew their ships were no match for the alien fleet. The Council had technology that was hundreds of years ahead of anything Earth could build. "Sir?" Mary asked quietly. "What do we do?" Jake turned to look at his people. They were scared, but they were ready to fight. That was the thing about humans that the aliens never understood. When pushed into a corner, humans didn't give up. They fought back. "We follow protocol," Jake said. "Send word to Earth Command. Tell them the Council has made their final demand." Far below, in secret bunkers scattered across the globe, other humans were already moving. Dr. Elena Rodriguez was in a lab buried under the Colorado mountains. For years, she had been working on projects that officially didn't exist. The Council thought they knew everything about human technology. They were wrong. Colonel Danny Walsh was coordinating with resistance cells on human colonies throughout the galaxy. The aliens believed they had perfect information about human capabilities. They had been fed lies for years. In the Pacific Ocean, Captain Steve Bennett was preparing his submarine for a mission that would change everything. The Council had never bothered to map Earth's ocean floors. They didn't know about the cities humans had built in the deep places, or the weapons they had hidden there. President Brooks stood up from his chair. "Send a message to all human colonies. Tell them the time has come. Operation Lazarus is now active." Amy Carter smiled for the first time in months. "The Council thinks they know us. They think we're weak because we avoid war. They're about to learn how wrong they are." Back on the space station, Jake was receiving new orders. They were brief and simple. "Hold position. Make them think we're helpless. Let them believe they've won." Jake understood. For 3 years, humans had been playing a careful game. They had acted weaker than they were, submitted to alien demands, and let the Council believe they were in control. But all of that had been preparation for this moment. The alien ships moved closer to Earth. Their weapons were charging. Soon, they would begin their attack, confident that humans would surrender quickly. They had studied Earth's military and found it primitive. They had counted human ships and found them few. They had analyzed human technology and found it inferior. What they didn't know was that everything they had studied was fake. The real human military had been hidden for years, waiting for this exact moment. The Council had pushed Earth too far, and now they were about to face something they had never imagined. The war was about to begin, and the aliens had no idea what was coming.